What up, Soul Tribe? Today I wanted to talk about how we are programmed to be in a relationship. We are programmed to want somebody. We are programmed to need somebody from when we are little. It starts when we're little, and it's pushed on us all throughout our life. Think about it. Millions of people wake up every single day feeling incomplete, especially if you literally just went through like a breakup, or if you've been through a divorce. You probably feel more incomplete now than you've ever felt. And that's because society has programmed you to believe that you need someone else to make you feel whole. So you try to fill that gap that you have within you to make you feel whole by doing things like doom scrolling on social media. If you find yourself watching, tons of videos about relationships or people that are in the same situationship as you, and you guys share likes and comments with each other because it's relatable. You find yourself watching engagement videos or videos where people are sharing romantic gestures. And by watching and engaging in these types of videos, you are reinforcing a powerful belief that somehow you're not enough. You're not enough on your own. But let me tell you something. I felt that way, and I still struggle with that feeling. I'm currently going through all of this right now. Everything that I'm talking about, I'm going through it right now. And the struggle is fucking real, okay? But I'm also learning that feeling of incompleteness it's not real. According to Dr. Dispenza, it's not real. It's our Delulu. We make it up. Dr. Dispenza says it's a programmed response, a pattern that's been conditioned into our nervous system. And I believe that. So I've been, deep diving in some of Joe Dispenza's work lately. And that's what inspired me to talk about this. Because what I have been going through, I feel it in my nervous system. And when I take care of myself and I meditate and I do everything that Dr. Joe Dispenza recommends, I do feel a sense of peace. So detoxing from emotional detachment has been very challenging for me. I'll feel good for a few days, and then I don't feel good. Like I'm back to feeling like I'm missing my person. I don't have a person, right? Yeah, I'm going through a divorce, right? But I'm not missing that person, but I'm missing my person. Does that make sense? Like I'm missing my person. I'm missing that one to make me whole, okay? Even though I don't need that one to make me whole, I still have that feeling of missing the one that makes me whole. And then I go back through feeling really good again by working on myself. And then I go back to feeling really, lonely and missing my person. I'm aware now, what I'm missing. I'm aware now that I'm detoxing. What I'm going through now is, detoxing, oxytocin, because I enjoyed the oxytocin hit, the oxytocin high when you are talking to somebody new, when you are in a relationship with somebody that makes you laugh and makes you feel really good, right? But I only miss this person, this fake person that I don't have in my life. I only miss this person because we're all programmed. We're all programmed to miss somebody. And you're not even missing them, but I'm going to get into it. Just give me a minute. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to tell you why. But we are all programmed by movies, books, cultural expectations to find someone who makes us whole. When we feel that we want that ache, that longing for partnership, what we're experiencing is our body's addiction to an emotional state. We don't miss the person. We miss the feeling, the emotional state, okay? A few months ago, I got a hit of that oxytocin high, right? By talking to someone. That made me feel alive again. That made me feel good again. That made my serotonin levels, rise up, and really made my oxytocin levels rise up. And it made me feel so fucking good, because I haven't had that hit in a really, really, really long time. For those of you that know me, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't know me, I don't know, try to read between the lines. But I got that, that hit, that high, and I really enjoyed it by talking to someone that made me feel again. And it felt great until it didn't. Okay? It's like being a crackhead and getting cleaned up and then falling off the wagon. And the detox is so fucking cruel. Anytime you gotta detox anything, it's horrible. Like, I've never been an alcoholic or a drug addict, so like I can't talk about the detox at that aspect, but I have seen people go through it and it looks cruel. But I could talk about detoxing, emotional states. I could talk about detoxing poison from your body, detoxing heavy metals, detoxing from coffee, candy, sugar. Like, I could talk about detoxing in that aspect. And either way, it's still fucking cruel. It's still cruel. But I'm a huge believer that the universe brings people into our lives to show us, to show us stuff about ourselves that needs to be healed, to show us. And I was shown all of my emotional unhealed parts. Then I was left broken. At least that's how I felt. I was left broken. And I had to figure out how to heal again. Not just to heal again, but what it is we reach levels in life, right? We level up throughout life, because with time we gain wisdom. We learn from our mistakes and we level up. Most of us level up, right? So we reach levels in life. And right now I'm on a different level. I'm vibrating at a different frequency than most people that are in my realm or that are in my life. Right now I feel like I'm riding solo because, of the frequency that I'm in. I'm just trying to heal and figure shit out, and I'm going through some stuff, and the best way to go through stuff is to go through it alone. So here I am. I'm on this different level than I was 10 years ago, than I was 30 years ago. So the emotional healing was like cutting open an old wound that had already healed and breaking it back open again. Or better yet, a better analogy would be re-breaking a bone that had already been healed, right? I've been here before. And when you break a bone and then it heals and then you break it again, it hurts, but it hurts differently because of, the healing that took place. And there's pain, but there's also a different pain because you're re-breaking something that was already broken. Hopefully I'm making sense. But I've been here before. That's the energy that I'm in. But this time around, it had hit a little bit differently. It stung, I also had resentment, like asking myself, like, how did I not see this coming? How did this happen? And, I put myself in that victim mode, like, why is this happening to me? But I'm really good at catching myself going into victim mode, because we are not victims. We are students, we're learning. So when we find ourselves in that energy, that victim mode of why is this happening to me, you have to really just change your perspective and say, what is the lesson? What are you showing me? What are you teaching me? So I'm aware of that. So I'm really good at catching myself once I, fall victim. I usually lift myself up pretty quickly by, doing a perspective shift and asking, what is the lesson here? What are you showing me? So I did fall victim, asking myself, how did I get here? I've been here before. And how did I not see this coming? And I was a little disappointed. But like anytime, we always level up in life. We always level up in life. And when we level up, we're always faced with new challenges. So that's where my perspective shifted. I had to remind myself, you leveled up, Gabby. Now you're being tested, right? You have new challenges in your life to see if you are standing true to what you feel and what you say, and if you stand true, if you are standing in your authenticity by saying you healed certain aspects of yourself. So the universe will test you, right? Especially when we make claims. So we're faced with these new challenges, and then we're tested on old challenges, especially when you make claims, all right? Like claiming that you got over heartbreak. The universe, God, source, creator, whatever it is that you believe in, the high and mighty, the all that is, right? I don't know how you label it. So I'm just throwing it out there, a bunch of different ways that you can label it, right? The universe, God, source, creator will test you. So if you claim that your heart is healed, source will test you. Source will put you in a position to have your heart broken, to see if you are really healed. And let me explain. Broken hearts doesn't mean that you fall apart. Broken hearts are broken hearts, right? If you truly healed your heart and somebody breaks your heart, you can walk away from that person knowing that it wasn't a you thing, it was a them thing, and that you had no attachment. And you try to understand the bigger picture of why the broken heart happened, why there was such a disconnect, right? Instead of blaming it on yourself and being like, oh, why did this happen to me? Why does this always happen to me? And becoming a victim, a slave to yourself. So the universe will test you to see if, you truly are happy within yourself and you have a healed heart. Because a healed heart won't fall apart if somebody else, quote unquote, breaks it, because you won't give them that power to break it. Does that make sense? If you claim that you're a patient person, the universe will test you. If you claim that you're a problem solver, the universe is going to test you, right? If you claim you're grateful, source, God, creator is going to test you, and not in the ways that you think. The tests are never good tests. Good, quote unquote, because that's perspective, right? Quote unquote, good, right? Source is going to take from you to see if you are genuinely grateful, right? If you say you're a good person and you claim that you're a kind person, source is going to test you. You know what source might do? Source might put you at a red light and have a homeless bum walk up to your car and tap on your window with a sign that says, I need help, I need money, I need food. And then you push this guy away and tell the guy, go away, go away, go away. Get out of here. That is source testing you, because source uses his power by putting angels on your path to show you that you truly are not kind. You are judgmental because you probably swished that guy away, pushed him away because you're like, he's a fucking crackhead. He's an alcoholic. He don't need the money. But that's not your business what he does for the money. He asked you for the money. It doesn't matter what he does with the money. You don't give the money with condition. You just give the money, because love is unconditional. You just give the money. If he goes and buys crack with it, whatever. You gave it with pure love because you're kind. You see where I'm going with this? How Source will test you in life? So just, keep your eyes wide open, guys, because the universe is always testing you. And every time you find yourself in a position where you're like, why is this happening to me? Think about all the tests that God, Source, Creator, the universe put you through, and you probably failed, and you have to retake again. Okay? If you claim you're happy, God's going to test you. Source is going to test you. He's going to put you in a position where, he's going to take away everything from you to see if you can still be happy. He's going to maybe make you become a person that's alone. He's going to push you where you have to find solitude. And that's never fun. Because if you're genuinely happy with yourself, you'll be happy in solitude. But if you claim you're happy and Source, God, Creator takes everything away from you, and then you're not happy, you were never genuinely happy in the first place. You were faking the funk. You can lie to everybody else. You can even lie to yourself, right? But you are a fractal of Source. You have the power of the divine that runs through you. So you can't lie to God. You can't lie to the universe. You can't lie to all that is, right? So you can fake being happy, but when the almighty powerful one takes away everything from you and you're standing there alone in silence, will you still be able to find happiness within yourself? I ask you that because I want you to think about that. I thought I could. I thought I was happy. I thought I was happy, but I wasn't. I was just in a position where I wasn't being triggered. Now, with that being said, we tend to rush into relationships from a place of emotional lack. You're operating from your survival center. Your brain is in what Joe Dispenza calls emergency mode, pumping out stress chemicals, stress hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, and you're not choosing from wisdom. You're choosing from fear of being alone, fear from missing out, fear of what others might think. Dr. Dispenza also says that there is a power in being alone. And I have felt it, right? I've felt it. I've embraced it. That's where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at in my journey of trying to figure all of this out, figure me out. This solitude that I'm being pushed into, right? The silence that I'm being pushed into is a chance for your brain to reset, rewire, and create new patterns that will serve your future. So far, since I've embodied this silence, sitting in solitude, which was and is extremely complicated, right? It's extremely challenging and hard. I was faced with many moments of tears, tears falling from my eyes, butterflies, but not the good ones. It was the nervous ones, the bad ones. They're fluttering through my tummy as the anxiety was trying to find its way out, trying to detox from my body, because I'm detoxing emotions, which is energy in motion, hence emotion, energy in motion. I'm creating, and I've been able to make some changes for my future, sitting in the solitude, sitting in the silence. And so far, this is what I've accomplished by practicing, sitting in silence and meditating and working on myself. I was able to actually get through my real estate course and actually take the test, and I'm happy to announce I passed it. I do have one more to do, but this was a big, huge step. This was a step that I always pushed on the back burner and never completed, right? So for me, this is huge. For me, this is huge. This is huge for my future. But I'm still in the creating process. And right now what I'm doing with you guys is I'm sharing my journey with you. You know, I'm not done. I'm not healed. I'm healing. I know I have so much more to heal. I know I have more tears to shed. I know I have more butterflies to release. And I'm making an effort to heal. You know, I may even trip up, here and there. I'm not perfect. I'm human. We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes, right? We're all going to make mistakes. So I'm not perfect. Healing is ugly. Healing is hard. Healing is sad. And healing is healing, guys. Healing is my teacher. Healing has taught me a lot. It has showed me a lot. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything I'm going through. I have no regrets. I am grateful for everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. So I'm grateful for my healing. I honor her tough love. You know, my healing she is something fierce. So when we spend time in solitude for a period of time, and I'm not talking about a day, I'm not talking about a week, but I'm talking about, science says it takes 30 to 90 days for change. So I'm talking about over a longer period of time. So we'll stick with like 30 to 90 days. 30 to 90 days. Our brain creates new neural pathways. And we are capable of reprogramming our brain, our system. Now this sounds very simple, but I challenge you to try it. It sounds very simple. I, however, have found it complicated. I mean, I tend to make things more complicated than they need to be because I always have to fuck around and find out the hard way. I don't know why I'm built this way, but I'm built this way. So maybe you're not one of those people that like to fuck around and find out. So you simplify things. So maybe it would be easier for you. But for me, I'm not built that way. Okay. And it just takes me a little bit longer. So I tend to make things a little complicated. I have sat in my own energy with a broken program, a broken heart, a broken soul, a broken life, right? And I found it very difficult to figure myself out, to figure out what the lesson is, to see what, the universe is showing me and what other people are showing me. Because everybody that comes into your life is a teacher. Everybody is going to show you something about yourself. Okay? And that literally stems from we are one. So, yes, I have meditated, right? That's part of what I started in 2013. I started to meditate. So I have meditated and I have sat with myself when I was content. I have sat in silence. I have sat in solitude again when I was content. I have never sat in solitude being broken. Now I'm air quoting broken, okay? Quote unquote broken. I'm not really broken, but for the sake of this video so you can understand. I have never sat in solitude feeling broken. It was a different energy. It was hard to sit in silence without fidgeting. It's not the same when you are content, when you feel whole. I've always had this external validation in my life, but try sitting alone without grabbing your phone. Try sitting alone when you feel broken and you're not content and you're going through shit. Maybe you're going through the dark night of the soul. Maybe the shit hit the fan. Maybe you're dredging through the shit. Try sitting in silence without fidgeting. I challenge you. And don't grab your phone. Don't pick it up. Don't check your emails. Don't check your text messages. Don't check to see who called you. Put your phone on do not disturb. Matter of fact, don't even keep your phone in the same room as you. Don't reach for the remote and turn the TV on. Don't try to fill silence with noise, like by playing some music in the background. Literally sit in silence. Okay? Sit in silence. Don't look for that external validation. Don't look for anything to try to fill the silence. And it's not as easy as it sounds. That's where the real transformation begins. So for me, this is what it looks like. Sitting in silence, putting my phone far away from me so I don't pick it up and feel the urge to grab it. When I feel the urge to grab it, I just breathe. I breathe into my belly and I just focus on my breath, because literally grabbing our phones to check it is also an addiction. So I will breathe into my belly. And I tend to fill the silence with a lot of silent tears, a lot of regret, a lot of heartache. And that's because I'm still detoxing. But I don't shy away from those tears. I let them fall. I don't push away that heartache or those butterflies in my stomach. I embrace it. I feel it. I try to understand it. I sit with it, right? The key is not to take it with you when you're done. The key is to release it, to detox it. But as you're detoxing it, feel it. Feel it. Within the silence is where you find yourself. That's where you're going to learn a lot about yourself. The greatest relationship that you will ever have is with yourself. At least that's what everybody keeps telling me. I do find myself out alone a lot, right? And even before I was in the position that I'm in now, I was always in my room alone a lot. So I've been getting to know myself intimately, alone, getting to, feel comfortable sitting in my own energy. Do I talk to myself? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm always talking to myself. I'm a creator. I like to write. I like to, I mostly just like to write. Am I an overthinker? Yes. But you know what? Sitting with myself, by myself, in silence, when I start to overthink, what I do is I grab my journal and I write. What am I thinking? Why am I feeling this way? How do I release it? How do I let this go? How do I heal it? So the greatest relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. And I'm getting to know myself, I'm learning to love thyself. That's been part of my journey since 2015 when I started yoga. That was me learning to love my body, because I don't love my body. I was always very critical of my body. A lot of people will be like, oh, you're so beautiful. And I don't feel the way other people feel when they look at me. And when they tell me that stuff, I don't believe them. And it makes me cringe, actually. And I don't even know how to respond because I don't believe it, right? So I'm learning to sit with myself, to learn to love myself. Doing yoga is me, because I still do it, is me learning to love myself. My goal is to grow and evolve with myself and thrive in solitude. Am I there yet? No. I have a lot of deprogramming to do, a lot of things I need to unprogram, uninstall, and detox and release from my whole being. For me, and I can admit this, and this is a part of emotional intelligence, because this is another rabbit hole that I fucking fell into, learning emotional intelligence, something I feel that a lot of people lack. So I started down the whole emotional intelligence thing and working on myself. And so I can admit this, I love how love feels, right? But what I thought was love is lust. And I have a lot of old lust to release and let go of because I attached myself to someone my whole life. I've always been attached my whole life. At least that's what it feels like, right? And I think back and I reflect a lot, and I've always been attached to someone, and I always thought I loved them, and it wasn't love, it was lust, or it was a trauma bond, but it was never fucking love. Because how can you love someone else when you don't love yourself? And I literally just told you I didn't love myself because I'm learning to love myself. Me admitting to you that I started my yoga journey in 2015 to learn to love thyself is me telling you I didn't fucking love myself. So how can I love someone else if I didn't even love myself? What I thought was love was lust. Okay? So I'm learning to let go of and detox a lot of that. I'm releasing a lot of lust, and stuff like that. Because I attached myself to someone my whole life because of abandonment. When you sit in silence and solitude, you'll think back to where this all stems from, right? You start to figure shit out. You start to put the puzzle pieces together. And it stems from my childhood into my first relationship, abandonment. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you guys this so you can play the little violin for me. I'm just sharing with you guys because this is something that, I'm coding you. Something I say may be an aha moment for you in your journey. So it's an abandonment issue. And my lesson or goal is to show myself I won't let go. I won't give up. I have to teach myself love, self-love. I have to set boundaries. I have to say no a lot. I lowered my value to feel love, which I thought was love, but it was lust. I lowered my value to be lusted after. Okay? Lust. Because I didn't know what love was. Love is unconditional. Am I a master at this? No. Do I still fuck up? Yes. And when I fuck up, I recognize it and I'm like, oh shit, I'm still there. I haven't evolved. I'm still in this energy of lust. So it's not something that you heal from overnight. It's something that you go through. It's a process. And awareness is key. Awareness is definitely helpful. So I've lowered my value to feel lust because I didn't know what, love was. Love is unconditional. Lust comes with conditions. When we thrive in an energy that's in a frequency of healing, we become magnetic. And we start to, when we become magnetic, we start to transform our lives. Our lives start to transform. And then we attract people that will come in to help us heal. Not because we need these people to help us heal, but because we choose it from a place of wholeness. Remember, everything is energy. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, I'm not sharing all this information with you to tell you guys to be single forever and never find anybody because you don't need anybody to make you whole. No, it takes the right person to come into your life to make you feel whole. And I'll get there. I'm almost there. And I will end with that point. Okay? When we are stuck in old patterns of seeking relationships, our brain does not know the difference between an emotion we are experiencing and an emotion we are remembering. When you think about past relationships, when you remember the hurt, the abandonment, the rejection, your body is going to create or recreate some of the same exact chemical signatures that it released back then, as if it's happening right now. Your brain is releasing the same cocktail of neurochemicals: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. And it's going to release the same things that it's going to release that chemical concoction just by you thinking that it's going to release what you experienced during those past relationships. And you become addicted to those chemicals. You're addicted to the emotional states of your past. When you feel lonely, when you feel that urge to text your ex, when you find yourself drawn to the same people or the same type of people or person who hurt you before, that's not love. That's not fucking love, guys. That's not love. That's your body craving its familiar chemical fix. Let's focus on the word familiar for a second, because this, when I was writing this, like fucking downloaded into my brain. Familiar. Think about that word. Write it down. Look how it's spelled. There's another content creator out there. His name is Aaron Doughty. And Aaron Doughty says, if it's familiar, it's familia. Family. Stay away. That's trauma. Well, for most of us, it's trauma. But he doesn't say that part. But he does say the part that familiar sounds a lot like familia, which is family, right? So, of course, I had to dive deep into the etymology of the word family, familiar. And this is what I came up with. But before I tell you what I came up with, what I found, Aaron Doughty actually says this about the word familiar. He does say that when we attract unhealthy, toxic people in our life, there is a part of us that is normalized, that has normalized that toxic pattern, familiar, that toxic pattern. So be aware of who you surround yourself with. Okay? That's what Aaron Doughty says. Now, science says every time you've been in a relationship that didn't serve you, every time you stayed too long with someone who wasn't right for you, you are reinforcing these neural pathways. You're teaching your body to accept and crave these emotional states. Your brain has literally been wired to seek out situations. Sorry, I gotta turn my page. Situations that create these familiar feelings. Now, side note, remember what I said about Aaron Doughty said about the word familiar? Well, look at the etymology of the word. Go ahead, pause the video, go look at the etymology. Just first of all, look at how the word is spelled. Like there's liar. Liar. There's freaking the word liar in the word. That stuck out to me. That like screamed at me, right? But look at the etymology of the word. Now in the 1560s, right, the Latin plural used as a noun meant the slaves, okay? Familiar meant the slaves. Keep that in mind. When you say that something feels familiar, because it could make you a slave of your past, okay? That's just a little side note, a little side note gem, a little thing to make you, think, just to make you think a little. Now, being stuck in what's familiar is being stuck in a never-ending cycle. I talk about that never-ending cycle. It's been my fucking subject for the last 7 months now. It's the infinity circle cycle. What you resist persists. A lot of people are stuck in the lower level. What do I tell you guys? My good friend Glitch calls it the poop loop. What you resist persists, and you're stuck in that lower level of the belly of the infinity cycle. So being stuck in what's familiar is being stuck in the never-ending cycle, because you're not pushing through. You're stuck. You're resisting. It's also like that song. Have you guys, if you're Gen X, you probably heard this. It's like that. Being stuck in this never-ending cycle is like having this freaking song stuck in your head. This is a song that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is a song that never ends. I know a lot of you guys are going to have an earworm now. You're going to have that song stuck in your head. You're welcome. Because that song was stuck in my head last night. That, my friend, is your life when you repeat old pattern. That song is your life, okay? When you repeat old patterns. You know, they are familiar. You are the slave of your past on repeat. You need to step out of your comfort zone. Push yourself to heal, to stay still in the silence. Find solitude in the silence. Find peace in it. At first, you'll fight it. You're going to fight the peace. And it will be like, while you're sitting there trying to find peace, it's going to feel like a death metal band growling in your ear, playing, you know, the song by a Late Nine, Repeated Apology. That's what came to mind when I was writing this. It's gonna feel like that song on repeat in your head. If you guys don't know, you're gonna have to YouTube it or whatever, Spotify it or whatever, Apple Play it, whatever you have to play music. You look for that song. You know, that song, why it came to me is because that song is a representation of somebody that's trying to heal from an addiction, trying to get you to reflect on yourself, to stop apologizing for fucking up. Stop apologizing for repeating old patterns. Stop apologizing for returning to what's familiar. Stop being a slave to your past. Listen to that song, Repeated Apology by Late Nine. The lyrics tell a story of addiction. Okay, even though it's telling a story of drug addiction, it's still addiction. Okay, so there are some relatable points. So the lyrics tell a story of an addiction. So it may resonate for, I don't know, some of you guys. Maybe not. Emotional attachment is an addiction. So self-love, personal growth, and emotional freedom is my goal. Okay, that's my goal. Science shows us that it takes 60 to 90 days to kick an emotional addiction or any addiction. So for 2 to 3 months, you'll have to be committed and willing to feel uncomfortable. Your body will crave old emotions. Your body will convince you to go back to what feels familiar because it's going to pull you back into being the slave to old patterns. So your body's going to try to pull you back and convince you to go back to what feels familiar. But if you can just be strong and maintain your commitment to breaking these patterns, a miracle will happen. Magic will happen. Alchemy will happen. Your brain will begin to prune out old neuro connections and build new ones. You'll be changing your brain's physical structure by creating new neural networks that support your growth, your independence, and your emotional freedom. Every moment you spend alone, you are creating. When you are spending time with the wrong people and thinking negative thoughts and feeling like you're not enough, that is the story that you are literally creating for yourself. That is the story that you are manifesting for yourself. You are in a low vibe, in a frequency of lack, of less than. And then that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract lack. But when you spend time alone and thriving in solitude, loving yourself, you are creating in a high vibe, in a frequency of love, manifesting and attracting an energy. You know, your energy matching. Your energy goes where energy flows. You are magnetic. You'll attract what you feel. And when you feel love, you'll attract that love. You are divine. You are a fractal of source. We're not taught how to use the quote unquote God power, right? We have God flowing through our blood, our veins, our DNA, our bones, everything that makes us us. We are a fractal of source. We are powerful. And we don't know how to use that power. That's why a lot of us are living in lack. That's why a lot of us are living sad and sick. You know, you can change that. Make a conscious effort to sit in silence. Start out doing it for like 5 minutes. Work your way up to an hour. I'm not even at an hour yet. But, you know, baby steps, baby. Baby steps. Side note. Emotional independence does not mean you don't need anyone, okay? Again, I'm not telling you guys to live life single forever. Emotional independence does not mean that you don't need anyone. I'm not here telling you to stay single, you know. True emotional independence is having a strong connection with yourself, you know, that you become a generator of positive emotions rather than a consumer of other people's energy. You'll be able to produce, you know, serotonin naturally. You won't need an outside source to produce it for you. You'll be able to produce it for yourself naturally, and dopamine naturally without depending on someone else. You can achieve this through meditation, through gratitude, and personal achievement. That, my friends, I can tell you is true, okay? I've experienced it. You can provide your own serotonin naturally and dopamine by going into meditation, practicing gratitude, and personal achievement. Your energy field will change. You'll broadcast a new electrical magnetic field once you start to change. People will feel the shift. They'll be attracted to you because you'll be magnetic. When you're operating from a place of wholeness, you glow differently. When you operate in an energy of want, need, greed, or lack, you come off as a huge gray cloud and your shine is dull, right? You don't glow the same. Again, this is a commitment that you'll have to be willing to take. You'll have to be required to sit with yourself and face yourself and do the inner work. You have to be honest with yourself. You know, I call it shadow boxing. Carl Jung calls it shadow work. You'll have to face the uncomfortable emotions that arise when you're alone, and a lot of emotions are going to arise. And you'll have to be willing to feel, you know, the withdrawal symptoms as your body detoxes. And it's not easy, but just feel it. Just feel it and send love to it. That's literally all you can do. Feel it and send love to it. You'll cry. You'll get anxious. You'll feel unworthy. You'll have regrets. You'll be sad. You'll be a little depressed. Your heart maybe experience some heart palpitations. You'll have this urge to doom scroll. You're going to have to push through it all. Let it out. Don't fill your silence with noise. Start small. 5 minutes of silence. Breathe into it. If you cry, let those tears out. Let them fall, baby. Let them fall. I cried a fucking river. So if you cry a river, just name it after yourself. That's all you can do. If you feel lonely, instead of doom scrolling, grab your journal and start writing, you know, what you're feeling. Or, you know, this generation likes to grab their phone and record a lot. Grab your phone. I like to grab my phone and record. I like to do video journals. Pick your phone up and do a vlog, you know, a video vlog, a video journal. You know, when I watch the playback of a video vlog, I pick up on a lot of stuff about myself, you know, because I'm a very visual person. If you feel the urge to go on social media, take a walk, go outside and get into nature. This is not spiritual woo-woo that I'm pushing on you. I hope you guys don't think I'm pushing this on you. I'm just sharing. It's not spiritual woo-woo though. This is quantifiable science. When you're vibrating in a low energy, when you're vibrating in low energy emotional states like want, needing, neediness, desperation, fear, fear of being alone, you're literally broadcasting that frequency into the quantum field. Stress chemicals lower your energetic energy. Your cells begin to vibrate at the frequency of survival emotions, what I spoke about in the beginning: fear, anxiety, loneliness. And then you attract experiences that match that frequency. Again, your vibe attracts your tribe. When you're in a relationship that is not serving you, your energy field becomes entangled with that person's energy. And I speak from experience, you guys. I was living with somebody that their energy was not, matching mine. And I was entangled with that person's energy. You're sharing not just physical space, but energetic space. Energy is huge, you guys. I know that you were probably not taught about energy fields and stuff in school, right? Because a lot of that is like woo-woo. But I'm telling you, this is not woo. This is fucking science. This is science. Use your due diligence and look into this stuff yourself. Okay? You're sharing energetic space with everybody you come into contact with. This is why after a breakup, you feel you lost a part of yourself. In a very real way, your energy field is reorganizing itself, detaching from the frequencies you become accustomed to. But real conscious solitude will help you reset your energy field to its natural frequency. Again, meditate, breathe, focus on your heart, and visualize on your chest expanding every time you take a deep breath in. Take yourself out to eat. This one is huge for me. I find it incredibly difficult to sit alone in a restaurant. I have not done this one yet. It's on my list. And when you do take yourself out to eat, I'm talking about take yourself out to eat, but don't bring your cell phone with you. No scrolling on your alone date. That's why this one's so difficult. No phone, guys. Sit alone, absolutely alone with yourself when you take yourself out to eat. Take yourself out to the movies. This is another one I have not done yet. Don't take your phone with you. No scrolling. When you take yourself out on these dates, don't doom scroll. That's part of the exercise. No phone. So going to the movies is also one that's on my list. Travel alone. I do this one often. I travel city to city, state to state. That one I enjoy that one, but I have never traveled out of the country. So traveling alone out of the country is different. I'm not going to get into it because my video is already an hour long, but for me it's a safety issue. But I hear people say it's very therapeutic to travel alone. Be your own date and travel alone. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. Maybe one day I'll try it. But I do travel city to city and state to state. So yeah, I've never left the country before. Not even with somebody, I've never left the country before. So me sharing all of this with you guys, this is me being authentic. These are not, just activities. They are exercises in strengthening your emotional independence. These are exercises that I myself I have on my list to do, or I am currently doing. Here's another exercise. Try this one. Do this one, 2 to 3 times a day throughout the day. Close your eyes and take a big deep breath in and mention 3 things that you're grateful about, that you're grateful for about your current state of being single. This one I started last night. Feel this gratitude in your body. Let it fill your chest and your stomach and your whole entire body. What you're doing is you're creating new neural pathways about being alone. You're breaking old patterns and creating new ones. Get rid of all the old stuff. Delete those old photos of the people, that person you were dating, or anybody that's lowered your vibration. Out with the old, in with the new. Delete the photos, delete the phone number, delete the text messages, the emails, throw away the gifts. Just get rid of it. You'll feel so freaking good. Get rid of it. Clean up your social media. When you hold on to old patterns, you're reinforcing old neural pathways. I myself have yet to clean up my Facebook. I have so many memories. I might have to probably recreate a new one. Again, I'm taking you all along with me on this journey. I literally cannot I'm just taking you guys along on this journey with me. You're not alone. I'm not alone. I'm literally telling you to be alone, and I'm literally like probably going against what I'm supposed to be doing, but by telling you guys I'm here for you when you're supposed to be going through this alone. The point is, you're not alone, guys, and you got to start somewhere. We're all human, and you know, not everybody talks about this stuff because they don't want to share their life because they're very super private, right? But I've been pretty open and authentic with you guys since I created my YouTube channel, you know, over 10 years ago. That's how I started my, you know, healing, my ascension, you know, spiritual ascension process. So I'm here just continuing to share with you, you know, what I'm going through, and a lot has changed since you guys met me over 10 years ago. Obviously you know that because you're still following me, because you're my fam, you're my fam bam, my soul tribe. Your brain cannot create new patterns while running old programs. Remember that. Your brain cannot create new patterns while running the old programs. Remember to try to differentiate the difference of loneliness and solitude. Remember, loneliness is lack of, missing something, and solitude is a state of wholeness, of being complete with yourself. When you feel the loneliness creep in, don't run from it. Sit with it, observe it, ask yourself, what am I seeking in this moment? Often it's not another person. You're not craving another person. It's a feeling, a state of being. Here's another exercise I want to share. Before bed, write in your journal, document your victories, no matter how big or small they are. Document if you caught yourself, you know, did you catch yourself before texting your ex, or cyber stalking them, or commenting on a post, or I don't know, looking at their pictures or whatever? Did you kind of like, did you stop yourself? Maybe you stopped yourself and you're proud. Write that in your journal. Also, write in your journal if you enjoyed a moment of genuine peace while alone. Did you make a decision based on your own values instead of, you know, seeking validation or approval from someone else? Finding the right person, you guys, is not about timing. It's about frequency matching. That's what Joe Dispenza says. It's about frequency matching, and that resonated with me. Energetic alignment is an easy flow of energy between whole beings. This is divine timing. It's not waiting around for your Prince Charming to just come into your life. This is frequency matching. It's about understanding that when you are vibrating at your highest frequency, you're living as your true evolved self. This is quantum entanglement at the level of consciousness. You'll know that you are ready when being with someone becomes a choice rather than a need. when you can look at another person and appreciate them rather than possess them. When you can recognize that a relationship is not about filling a void, it's about creating something greater than either person can create alone. Pay attention to this. When the right person appears in your life, it won't feel like the beginning of a story. It will feel like the turning of a new chapter in a book that's already rich with content. You won't be trying to secure their attention or prove your worth. You'll be busy, living your purpose, and they'll be naturally drawn to the energy of you. They'll be naturally drawn to your energy. The right person will not require you to shrink yourself or dim your light. Instead, they'll show up equally committed to their own, evolution. They'll understand that relationships aren't about dependency. It's about two people coming together, creating something larger than itself. Be true to your own frequency, your own coherence. And that's all I have for you guys today. I know it was really long. It's exactly an hour long. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have anything to add to that, feel free to leave it down below. Love you guys.